Dear students, in the previous video, we have discussed about the sterilization by dry heat and moist heat, that is, the thermal techniques used for the sterilization. Now, if the substance is heat labile or it gets destroyed due to the heat, dry heat or moist heat, then such type of materials or such products or dosage form will not be sterilized by thermal technique. So we have to shift from dry heat or moist heat or the thermal methods to non-thermal methods. The non-thermal methods involve first is the gaseous sterilization. Gaseous sterilization is helpful for the materials which are electrical materials or powder sterilization we are having, or the medical devices which are disposable medical devices. For these type of materials we can go for sterilization of the material by using the chemically reactive gases like ethylene oxide and formaldehyde. These are two gases which can be used for the sterilization purpose. So we are going to see these two gases used for the sterilization in detail in this video. Now the gaseous sterilization, as I have told you that ethylene oxide and formaldehyde will be used for the sterilization purpose. So basically the mechanism of both the gases is to have the alkylation of sulfahydryl, amino, hydroxyl and carbonyl group on the proteins and imino group present in the nucleic acid. So due to the alkylation, the lethality occurs, and this lethality of the gases increases with the increasing concentration, exposure time, temperature and humidity. These gases are having broad spectrum biological activity, and it has found application in sterilization of the electrical equipments and surface sterilization of the powders. Ethylene oxide sterilization is used for the sterilization in a commercial production of the disposable medical devices. But the drawback is that they do not offer the same degree of sterility assurance as that of heat method. That means whatever sterility percentage is attained in the heat method, that much is not attained by the gaseous sterilization, but where it is necessary, then gaseous sterilization is preferred. Here, one more disadvantage is that there is need always, due to the gases, there will be formation of some toxic residues of these gases. So there will be a need to remove these toxic residues of gases before we are releasing the article or atom for the use. Then next is the gases. Both the gases are quite mutagenic, potentially carcinogenic. They are also produce some symptoms like acute toxicity, then conjunctiva, sometimes irritation of the skin or nasal mucosa. So strict control is necessary and safe working protocol are required to protect the personnel. Here both the gases are although carcinogenic, hence when we are dealing with both the gases, some safety measures are taken into consideration to maintain the safety of the workers as well as the safety of the products also. Now we'll see first the ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is used more commonly. It is the most common method in, if we consider in an international level. It is highly explosive if it is used in a mixture of greater than 3.6% volume by volume. To reduce its explosion, it is usually supplied for sterilization purpose as a 10% mixture with CO2 or 8.6% with the tetrahydrofuran. Then then pure ethylene oxide, a gas can be used at a below atmospheric pressure in the sterilizer chamber from which all air has been removed. Efficacy of ethylene oxide treatment depends on achieving suitable concentration in each article, and this is assisted. So for this purpose, the concentration of ethylene oxide is taken from 800 to 1200 milligram per liter, and it is operated at a temperature of 45 to 63 degrees Celsius. Here, higher concentration and temperature, if they are not suitable, then it will be difficult. So it will be assisted by the better penetration power of the gas, which will diffuse readily into many packaging materials including the rubber, plastic, fabric, paper. During the process, treated article must undergo desorption stage to remove the toxic residues. Reducing desorption time goes between 2 to 24 hours. Organisms are more resistant to ethylene oxide treatment in a dried state because they are protected from gas by inclusion in crystalline or dried organic deposit. Thus, further condition to be satisfied in ethylene oxide sterilization is attainment of minimum level of moisture in immediate product environment. Here, it is relatively slow to form the solid polymers. With long exposure time, it is possible to sterilize the products at ambient temperature, and there is very low incidence of product determination. Now we'll see the operation cycle. Now, as we have seen in case of autoclave, that is large scale autoclave, similarly it will be containing the steel chamber. Normally it will be 100 to 300 liter capacity, into which it will be surrounded by a hot water jacket to provide the uniform chamber temperature. The successful operation of sterilizer requires the first step is initial vacuum, that is complete removal of the previous air from the chamber. Then we will go for humidification, that is preheating and humidification, and conditioning of the load by passage of some atmospheric pressure. After this, the preheated pure ethylene oxide is admitted. Here actually the gas is exposed to the material or which is under sterilization technique. Here the forced gas circulation is often employed to minimize the variations in the condition throughout the sterilizer chamber. Packaging materials must be air, steam, gas permeable to permit suitable condition of sterilization. An individual article in the load must get sterilized. Absorption of ethylene oxide by the load is compensated by introduction of excess of gas at the beginning. Here when we are adding the gas, extra quantity will be added because some of the quantity is get absorbed by the content or the product which is under sterilization. Addition of more gas as the pressure drops during the sterilization process. After treatment, now here when the time is over, it will be the gas will be removed completely. This evacuation will be directly through the to the atmosphere or through a special exhaust system. It will be removed completely out of the chamber. Then filtered sterile air is introduced inside that chamber, so that this will be having repetition of vacuum or air cycle or air purging until we are going to open the chamber. At the end of the sterilization cycle, we are going to open the door. Till that stage, we have to keep circulating the sterile air. So whatever residues are going to be there, that will be taken up by the sterile air and the product will remain as it is. Thus, the safe removal of ethylene oxide is achieved, reducing the toxic hazards to the operators as well. Sterilized articles are removed directly from the chamber and arranged from the description. The operation of an ethylene oxide sterilizer is controlled automatically. It will be operating completely automatically. No manual feeding or removal is done because the gas is very carcinogenic or mutagenic in nature. To avoid this, the complete automation of this sterilization cycle is done. Now we'll see the formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a less common technique. It is used by heating formalin 35% fed by volume formalin solution, that is aqueous solution of formaldehyde, to a temperature of 70 to 75 degrees Celsius with steam. It will be leading to formation of LTSF, that is low temperature steam formaldehyde. This will be used, LTSF will be used for the sterilization purpose. Formaldehyde has having the similar toxicities to ethylene oxide. It is operated at a concentration of 15 to 100 milligram per liter. Here the concentration is less than that of ethylene oxide, but the temperature is quite higher. For ethylene oxide it was 45 to 63 degrees Celsius. Here the temperature is 70 to 75 degrees Celsius. It is having a disadvantage of that. It is low penetrating power, but it is having the advantage that it is not inflammable and more readily detected by a smell. Formaldehyde can be detected with the smell, but ethylene oxide cannot be detected by the smell. So if there is a small amount of formaldehyde also, it can be detected in the environment, but if ethylene oxide is present in the environment, it cannot be detected. So this is quite advantage of the formaldehyde, and it is also having a shorter cycle. This formaldehyde is used for the sterilization of other packaging material like papers or cotton fabrics, because its penetration power is meant of that capacity only. It is not going to penetrate the rubbers and plastic. It is going to penetrate only the paper and cardboards. Now we'll see the operation cycle of the formaldehyde. The LTSF sterilizer is also designed to operate with the subatmospheric pressure steam. Again, the first step is air removal, that is vacuum creation. Complete air removal by evacuation, and steam is admitted. Here initially some steam is flushed inside the chamber. Then allow the heating of the load so that it will be assisting in the air removal. The sterilization period starts with the release of formaldehyde. Here when we are having the entry of formaldehyde, then the sterilization cycle is actually occurring. The sterilization period will be started where it will be release of formaldehyde by vaporization of the formalin and continued through either a simple holding stage or through a series of pulsed evacuation and steam. Either we can have continuous formaldehyde entry, or we can have entry exit, like that we can go for the sterilization cycle. The chamber temperature is maintained by thermostatically controlled water jacket. Again, water jacket, water will be it will be flowing so that the temperature is maintained, and steam and condensate are removed via a drain channel and an evacuated condenser. At the end of a treatment period, formaldehyde vapor is expelled by steam flushing. Here again the steam is flushed so that complete formaldehyde is removed from the chamber, and load is dried by alternating stages of evacuation and admission. Here again we can see that this is not a continuous process like ethylene oxide. Here we are having entry exit of the steam, so that we can obtain the complete safety from the carcinogenic gas. And here finally again the sterile air is moving through the chamber so as to maintain the sterility as well as the safety of the personnel and the safety of the products. So here we have finished with the gaseous sterilization techniques using ethylene oxide and formaldehyde as a source for sterilization technique. Thank you.